YouTubers, how's it going? Sorry about that, the proximity warning there. Just taking the SS out for a little drive. I wanted to get her out today to Atco to make some runs, and it turned out to be a beautiful day, a little too late in the day. It was very cold and very windy earlier today till about like 1 o'clock. I'm sorry about that. But it still is very cold out. I'm trying to see what the temperature ended up being. It's saying it's 51, but like with the, I guess with the wind, it's making it a lot colder. But I'm running out. I want to grab some gas, and we got a work trip tomorrow, so I want to grab some gas and some rubber gloves for the garage. I'm going to work on the Cutlass some more today. But yeah, it's a shame. It turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous day this afternoon, but by the time, it takes me about 45 minutes, roughly 45 minutes to an hour to get out to Atco. So by the time I get there, they're open till 7, and it's almost 4 o'clock now, so by the time I get there, I would not be able to really get many passes, if any, and so I'm going to save it for next weekend. They actually have, oh, there's a Hellcat back there, nice green colored one. They have a Chevy versus Ford weekend, so I'm going to go out and race at that if I can. I got a really busy week. I got a work trip tomorrow. My wife's getting some surgery on Tuesday, so it's a jam-packed week. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of work on the Cutlass today, get in the garage. I'm going to pull the suspension out, put the new suspension in. Not going to do as much filming on that. I'll just kind of do intermittent shots of once I have everything in so you can see it. Just because the more video I take, the slower I go. So, there's not much voodoo to doing the suspension. So, stay tuned. We'll be coming back in a few minutes with the, well, in your case, a few seconds. We'll be coming back with some videos of the rear suspension remove and replace. So, thanks again, guys, and thanks to all you folks who have subscribed. I'm up to over 170 subscribers now. It's fantastic considering back in early February I barely had any. So I appreciate you guys following along, appreciate the comments. It's pretty much a done deal now. I will be doing the LSA supercharger on the SS. So, you know, people may start wondering, well, what are you doing on the Cutlass? Well, I'll probably start running it with the supercharger, just so I know that the supercharger is good and that the engine and everything is in good shape. Sorry for rocking you there. Once I get that, you know, well established, know that all the ancillary support systems work in the car. I'm gonna pull out the supercharger, and I'm probably gonna end up going twin turbo on the Cutlass. It was something that I had done before, or possibly single turbo. Holly has a really nice setup, so we'll see. It all ends up in good content, right? So, well, I'm here to pick up my rubber gloves because I go through those like water. So, thanks a lot, guys. Stay tuned. Hey, guys, how you doing? This is where I'm at so far. You can see I've got the, it's a little hard to see under here, but again, per usual, I got the upper control arms off. What I'm going to do now, and I actually pulled the exhaust. I don't know how well you could see it way down there. Kind of slid what was left of it. I cut the tailpipes off, the original tailpipes that I had on there for when I was racing. I got the adjustable shocks for drag racing off. You can still see the airbags are in there. That's just because I haven't lowered it down. I'm going to get the jack in here and bring it down a little bit, and then that'll allow me to just very easily take the springs out. And I'm going to take the springs out with the bags, put the new springs in, and I'll be done there. But while this is open here, I'm actually going to touch it up a little bit with paint. But these bushings are still good. I replaced these a while back and then barely drove the car, only for drag racing. So what I'm going to do is touch up a lot of the stuff here. Probably going to put the new tailpipes in once I get the upper control arms in, just because I'm back here. I'll just get that stuff done. Because it's a pain in the butt once you get everything back in there. And I'm probably going to start running some of the fuel lines too while I'm back here, because it's a lot easier to get things positioned when you don't have to worry about pushing stuff all over the place. So can't see that too well, but you can see that's the original line that I had running up. It's about the size of the return line now, and I don't know if you can see it too well over here, but the bushings are in for the lines that'll be running through the spare tire well into the trunk for the fuel cell. You can see here, this is the, I'm going to go this way so I don't blind you guys, but this is the trans cooler. I have it mounted on a slight angle so I can get air while the car's running. That also has an integral fan, so it should do just fine with getting air to it. And I like it back here. There's plenty of room. There's no gas tank at this point, so I can keep it up here. And I just run my lines. I'll run it along the, probably I'm going to come out here. You can't see it too well, but I'll run it across, run it along where the gas lines run, because the trans line's right down there. So they're only number 6 lines, so that should go right in pretty easily. And then I got to decide whether or not I'm going to run it along the trans tunnel and slip it in that way or not. But for now, making steady progress. It's just I had the heater running in here a little while ago, and then I got it off now, and it's starting to get a little cold. So I'm probably going to go in, have some dinner, and I'll come out later on, continue to work. I'm going to touch up, like I said, I'm going to touch up a little bit under here, but making steady progress, shaving away at it. All right, stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, how you doing? We're back at the bench here. You just saw some of the parts I ripped out. What I like to do is take the things out kind of in stages so that I don't have to worry about as much aligning the rear end again. You'll have to do that to some extent, but there's a little trick that I do. Here's the original control arms that I took out. The uppers, these are not adjustable. They're from Hotchkiss. They worked really well for what I was doing. Here are the units. Now, actually, they give you bushings with it. Like I said before, I'm not replacing the ones that I got in there. They're urethane. They're in there already. Barely been used, so I'm not touching them. But these control arms are from Southside Machine Performance. Heavy duty, easy to put on, and what I'm going to end up doing here, I have a little trick, and they give you, like I said, they give you a bushing in each one of these, so I'm going to just put them over there. Not going to do anything with them. Actually, so if you guys can see, I'll just give you a quick view there. Southside Machine Performance. I got my upper and lower rear control arms from them. They have a great deal on it, so I say, what the hell, why not? I've got UMI parts on the car, so I've got the all different types of brands on it. I see a good deal. I get it. So these guys, you know, nothing fancy, but effective, and they're adjustable. So in case, you know, once I lower the car and I adjust it out a little bit, if it doesn't look like the rear sitting in there square, one of the things I like to do is, you can see that the lengths are different here. So what I'm going to do, just to kind of get it started, is we'll adjust these down. I'm going to put a screw or a piece of bar stock, all thread through it here and through here. Adjust them until they're lined up so that these are theoretically, you know, they're basically the same length. And then what that'll allow me to do is at least get it into the car, and then I can adjust from there. Because once you're in the car, then you got your jam nut to lock it in. But you would effectively lock the one end, and then you would just keep loosening this end, and it would... So you can bring it out, and then you got your jam nut to lock it in place. So you would just twist this center section, and it'll slowly bring the entire thing in or out as you want it. And that's basically it for the control arms. They're very simple to do. I've got my springs here as well. Let me just get these out of the way a little bit. And these, like I said, I've got both, you know, Southside, UMI. I've got, trying to remember who the other brand stuff. It'll come to me at some point. But here you go. Here's the UMI 4051Rs. These are the 2-inch drop springs. I actually have a set of the 1-inch drops for sale. If you guys are interested, reach out to me. It's fronts and backs. I'll give you a smoking deal. They've never actually been in a car. So I'll take a picture of them for you guys, post them up. But yeah, they've never been in a car. It was just easier to get a new spring because UMI, they have a reasonable policy that they won't take stuff back once it's been shipped out, only because with like Springs cosmetically, they'll give you like a credit, but it won't be like for the full value. So I just went and got these and figured I'd sell them privately for the other ones. But these are 2-inch drop springs. These will go in real easily. And I got my got the hardware for the control arms. Well, uppers and lowers. Here's the lower control arm hardware, and here are the lower control arms. I haven't taken the lower control arms out of there yet, but once I do, I'll pull these out. These are also Southside machine parts. So for now, let me put the spring back here, kind of get it out of the way. And then it'll be the fun stuff with the fuel lines. So you can't see them because they're off camera here, but I've got a lot of fuel lines. I got trans lines, so I'm doing a number 10 feed, and then I'm doing a number 8 return, and then I'm going to do number 6s for the trans cooler. So you'll get all those videos, but stay tuned. We'll keep moving forward with the installation of the upper control arms, and then we'll eventually move to the rears. Right? Thanks. Yo, what's up, guys? Picking up on another day. Just thought this would actually be kind of funny. This is actually taking place over a couple of weekends, but I figured you guys get a kick out of this. This is a few days after it. Okay, almost got nailed by one of those damn mockingbirds. Hate those things. But yeah, we're going to continue working on the suspension today on the Cutlass. But yeah, now we're back under. We had, I think, 10 inches of snow. It's starting to melt. Can't seem to buy a break up in this joint, but here we go. It's starting to melt again finally. Oh, look, there's the SS. Yeah, couldn't get it into the garage. So, actually I can see it now, which is awesome. And somebody's cutting down a tree. We had a lot of stuff down, but poor thing. So, at the beginning of this video, you saw me driving it. That was last weekend. And this weekend, I was planning on taking her to Atco to try to get the runs in. And no dice. So I must be pissing that bird off right there. Can't see her too well. She's on that branch there. And there's another one right there. And I think there's like a baby around here somewhere because they keep dive bombing me. But all right, well, we're obviously not going to walk through that way. I'm going to take a slightly longer way around, but stay tuned. We're going to continue with the lower control arms, and I got a box here that I got a couple of days back that I haven't opened that we're going to go through. All right, thanks, guys. How you doing? Back in the garage. It's about a weekend later now. You just saw we got another snowstorm this past week. Was pretty bad. we got about 10 inches of snow, but it was that really heavy, wet stuff that's like a backbreaker. So my damn plow didn't work. My snowblower, I mean, didn't work. It just kept getting jammed up, frozen up. I tried the whole, you know, using the PAM, spray the PAM inside it on the blade and stuff. It just wasn't doing it. It was too cold. So, yeah, now that's starting to thaw at this point. But we're back here at the bench. We talked about it before, the old upper control arms. I'll be working on the rears later on, but I'm going to install the new uppers. And you can see I adjusted them so that they match the current length, at least so I can give it a shot and drive it and see how it goes. I have it matched up so that the holes line up, all the mounting points line up on this, and it's really simple what I end up doing. I just take one of the bolts that go on the housing, run it through, and I take one of the bolts that go on the top of that. And this is all Southside machine parts, so they supply you with all the hardware. It's very straightforward. And what I end up doing is just running it through and then adjusting it. And I tighten this one down really well, and then this one I keep a little loose because it's hard to do it on a bench without getting the turnbuckle to actually stay completely square. So this one's not, you know, incredible Hulk down. And then I'll tighten it again once I get it up on the car. But this allows me to at least have it rigid enough I can handle it, slip it on the car, get it in place, and then it uses a 1-inch and I believe it's the inch and an eighth for the actual nut. So it's the 1-inch over the turnbuckle, inch and an eighth over the nuts. So let's go. Let's get it back on the car. I didn't say this before we got under here, but while I had this down, I have the upper control arms off. You want to take the springs out. It is really simple to do. All you have to do is, if you keep the lower control arms in, just start lowering the rear. So I pulled the jacks out. I'm sorry, not the jacks. The jack stands out. and got my 4,000 pound tranny jack under it. This thing is a car, automotive, ATV, motorcycle jack. I love this thing because it's got a big pad on it. It's great for transmissions. But I think I may have actually bought it at Pep Boys, believe it or not. But lowered it down. It doesn't roll over because it's sitting here on the jack here. And then literally I lowered this down and the springs fell right out. So I was lucky it didn't hit me on the leg because that would have sucked. Something else I just wanted to mention prior to when we're installing the upper control arms, or any control arms, get yourself some decent, see if we can get it into the light here for you guys. Get yourself some good grease. Oh, that's good. That's like you can't even say it. There we go. Some Valvoline that I'm using. I'm just using multi-purpose grease for the bolts. These don't have any type of inserts for them, any type of grease inserts on them, so I like to grease up the bolts pretty well before we put them in. So let's get these springs back in. Next shot you'll see will be with the control arms already in, and I'll go through if there's any issues getting those uppers in, and then we'll still move our way onto the lowers. Alright guys, so this is why I do these videos. So this one, bolts, something was inside this housing, was tearing up the bolt, so I ended up using the old hardware. That sucks, but the hardware is just fine. Still looked in really good shape. The more perturbing thing is that the hardware up here, up at the top, has far too much has far too much shoulder, like collar on it. Not enough threads. So what ends up happening is I'm tightening the shit out of this thing, and all of a sudden it sounds like I'm stripping it. Well, turns out that I don't have enough thread, so it's bottoming out I'm calling it a hi-hat, but basically the shouldered washer, the shouldered screw. Can't remember the name of it at this time, but it doesn't have. It's basically bottoming out, and you can see there's a gap in here, and that's the same on both sides. So what I'm going to have to do is I'll loosen these up, and I will add some washers to the back side of this. Maybe do it to the front side just because it's easier, and this bolt moves very easily in here, so I'm not worried about pulling the bolt back out and popping it back in. So I may do it that way just to make it easier on myself, but I got to add some washers to one of the sides because the bolt's not getting tight. So live and learn, but both of them are in. Pretty straightforward. These guys are tightened up real nice. You got a little bit of thread sticking out the end. That's all that matters on these guys. So these should stay nice and tight. I mean, this is very tight, and I glued them up real well. So I'll tighten up the collars. I did do these pretty well, the turnbuckles, but looks like I got a little bit more work to do. So off, if you can see me, off to Lowe's we go. Catch you later. Alright guys, I am on my way to yours and my favorite hardware store, Lowe's. Normally I would go to the place down the street, but it's already after 5 and they closed for today. So heading down to Lowe's. I got my everyday beater, tried true beater, but I'm gonna go see if I can grab some more screws. Unfortunately, the screws that they give you in the kit, I don't really blame them. It's just easier to get it there. They're China grade 8, so they're basically fall apart, rip. It's not grade 8. Let's put it that way. So grade 8 hardware, insanely high tensile strength, but brittle. So they instead of stretching, they break. They just explode. So these, just looking at what they're supposed to be, and just taking a look at the points on. Yeah, no, they're supposed to be grade 8. But you tell me how the hell the threads came off of it that easily. So I'm reusing the original hardware. Some people would recommend doing that. I have no issue with that. I've done it before. That thing is taking a beating racing. That they all look fine. There's not a lot of corrosion on them. So I'm good with reusing them for now. I'm going to see if I can find some. They're not going to be any better than what I have. But we'll give it a shot, see if we can find something. I'm a little upset that the damn screws up in the top. They should know better. Have a massive amount of thread. Like, I mean, it's almost like excessively long screws for the job. And I guess I could have been a baby and apologize. Could have been a baby and just reused the hardware up there. But those were really the original screws. The ones that I had in there before were from another kit, and they're in good shape. The ones that were in there before, really the original ones. You can see there's a little bit of like necking down on it from like wear and tear. So I'm gonna go at least get some washers for it. I've got a designate. Oh god, somebody's got a say interesting. Nah, guess they can run them. We got looks like dirt bikes. At least they got license plates on them, so they're legit. You can run them on the street, but oh well. So we'll go to Lowe's, we'll get what we need, and we'll keep tearing through this. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, here we are back in the garage. It's actually Sunday now. After my wife sniped me with a few errands to run at Target, and it's on the way to Lowe's, and ended up stopping at a few other places on the way home. It just got too late, and I wasn't able to get back in here. It was just too cold. And I was just tired after putting the kids. My wife's getting over some surgery, so I'm having to be super dad. Sorry if see me distracted. I'm just watching the race here in the on the TV right here. So just started stage 1. I think we're 50-something. Yeah, 50-something. Laps in, but take a look down here on the table. I got the upper control arms in. I put the extra washers in. I'm going to take you over there in a minute. These are the lower control arms. I got the leftover hardware here. Got some additional things underneath the car there, so I'm going to take you over, give you a few extra shots here. I got the suspension in. I've got the old. Oh, actually, before I take you over there, I got the old sway bar out as well. This was the thing I got in that box that I was taking in yesterday. It's a little bit in rough shape, but I always love the way this looks. Although, now I got it for dirt cheap. I'm not going to tell you how cheap I got it for. But you can get them off of eBay for 70-something bucks, maybe, brand new. I did not pay that. Now, the issue I'm having here, when you lay it down, excuse me, I've got a few things that it's covering up, i.e. the the regulator. So what I think I may do is just end up cutting around this to fit. So I'll probably just bore a hole in it. But what I'm going to need to get, and one of the things I don't have, it's blocking it here on the throttle body, is the last stud that goes in here. My fingers on it, my middle finger's on it right here, but you can't really see it. It's like under there. That holds the front. It's like a front boss there that holds that. Now what I'm going to probably end up doing is I may raise this up a little bit just to kind of cover it up, or I may just cut it down. It fits everywhere except, man, it's going to be awfully, I'm just looking, sorry guys if you're all over the place here. It's actually maybe a little too close to that vacuum line that's right there. So the coolant for the supercharger would come out right through the front here. This can be pretty easily handled by cutting a hole and just letting it pop through. I could care less if the supercharged portion of it is a little messed up. That's not going to be a big deal. And once this goes down, locks in place, I can just notch around there. But I'm going to have to touch up, like you can see, if you're getting close enough, the supercharged and the LSA. I was just playing with a marker, a silver marker, see if it would fill in anyway decent, but that's in pretty rough shape. But stay tuned. I'm going to do a more in-depth, because there is a lot of people asking about this. I'm going to do a video just on the accessory drive on this car, because there's just so many people asking about it. So I'll do that for everybody just to make it its own video. But for now, I really do like the look. I'm going to try to figure out how I can keep that on there. It's just something I thought was neat on the car. I'll probably not bother with it for a while though, just to but it's something cool that I like, and it's my car, so but let me grab these guys. I want to take you underneath the car here so we can take a look. Excuse me, clear my throat here. Alright, you can see the sway bars there for the rest of it, but let me, oh boy, my phone is ringing. Looks like it was just a message. Okay, something that I wanted to point out. I got the well, you can see the upper. Ooh, sorry about that. That's probably really bad glare. Let me get myself situated here. Oh, excuse me. Sorry for all the noise. You're probably hearing a ton of rattling noise and everything. Okay, so you can see I put a bunch of extra washers in there. It's not the cleanest way, but it's effective. Gets the job done. Same on the other side. You can see right there, same deal. The springs are in, and the both sides. And I just dropped this lower control arm. One of the things I noticed, that's why the jack is under here, and I suggest that you probably do the same thing, is that as soon as I pulled that control arm, very easy to get out, by the way. As soon as I pulled that, the whole rear started to push back because of the spring pressure on it, and you have all the pressure that's in on the rear, the upper control arms, I'm sorry, by themselves. Sorry, I'm just trying, I keep slamming my head into something, the transcooler back here, so it's jabbing into my head, and it feels awesome, and I'm trying not to start wildly cursing on this, if at all possible. So what I'm going to end up doing, pulling this control arm out, put the new one in on this side, go on the passenger side, do the same thing over there. Okay, guys, here we go. All done with this. The lower control arms, apologize, moving it around there. Got this guy up, sorry, got some guys wadding it up into the wall there, and I'm missing it, so that makes me sad. That's okay. Let's, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the sway bar in. This should be very, very simple. Just gonna be using these, I think they're 7/16 bolts, and put them through the control arm. And let me just check real quick. Should go through, and yeah, I got a ton of thread left, so I'm going to put them in from the, there we go, that side. Just realized I may not have enough room to get it in on this side, so, oh, yep, nope. Oh, look at that, that's beautiful. Okay, good deal, because the other ones didn't work for that, but this is great. This will work really well with the sway bar. It'll grab it real nice. Okay, so, hang tight, we'll get the sway bar on, and then we'll put the shocks in, and we be done. Sway bar is in. I'm trying to do this so that you can actually see under here. Very simple. Like I mentioned before, just get the hardware in. I pushed it all the way forward so that it sits underneath the pumpkin, far forward. Clears everything so that there's no issue with it hitting the edge of the housing. So, see if I can get you a decent view of that there. You can see no issue there where it's sitting. Hopefully I'm not washing you guys out there with the light, but okay, rear suspension's in minus the shocks. I think what I'm going to do is leave the shocks out for now. Main reason for doing that is simply being able to run the brake line. So I'll do the brake lines next, and then put the shocks in. Actually, to tell you the truth, it's probably not even going to be that bad because the copper line, so I'll probably put them in. But I got to see what time it is because I'm probably going to get some nasty grams from the boss because I was supposed to be at dinner. So, whoopsies. Priorities, right? Oh. Alright, guys. Thanks as always. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm not going to show you putting the shocks in. It doesn't really matter. Hopefully you guys can see me. I don't know how well it is, but how well you can see me, but let's do it this way. Oh my god, hideous. I think I used that joke already. But thanks again, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. First time watching, punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for your subscriptions. I've been getting a lot more over the last few weeks, so thank you guys. And just keep watching. If there's anything you got a question about, don't hesitate to ask. Yes, I will be doing the exhaust on my SS as soon as it warms up a little bit. We're supposed to get some snow tomorrow night. I'm over it, but hey man, just moving forward, all right? Take care.